go for the challenges to ethics and moral accountability. So in this chapter, we have to see the philosophy inquiry. Some thinkers have been expressed deeply skeptical view about ethics. Greece and Charvaka and recent examples, moral skepticism also we can see. Skeptical doctrines. In this chapter, we examine various points of view, one of the which for one reason, another seems to be underdetermined the very idea of ethical studies. From the beginning of philosophical inquiry, one section thinker doubted the value of the pursuing ethical studies. This line of thought is different standard. In one view, human nature is such as men cannot geniusly pursue the moral course. Another view holds that though the men may be capable of pursuing higher ideals of it would be in their best interest to do so. According to another standard, the vain men are incapable of pursuing moral course. In simple terms, classify the ethical doctrines is first one, those who doubt logical validity or practical utility, ethical principles. 2. Those who propounded moral doctrines such as utilization or virtue ethics. Traditional textbooks accounts of ethics often present the doctrines which questions of the value, ethical alongside doctrines which promote genuine systems of morality. Psychological egoism. We begin our discussion with doctrine of psychological egoism. The egoism is simple means that men are only concerned with their individual advantages, pleasure, and welfare and have no concern care of others. Egoism is a doctrine that human beings are innately selfish. An important point of the morality is concerned criticism of psychological egoism. The psychological egoism is often criticized. It is inconsistent with many common patterns or altruistic and other regarding human behavior. Psychological ecosystem is argued with some examples don't invalidate their position. The seemingly altruistic conduct is a manifestation of egoistic behavior. Ethical egoism is a view of the people should in fact act according to their self-interest. Ethical egoism argues with the people don't often pursue their self-interest, but they should in fact to do so. Acting in a self-interest means that we should to maximize our happiness, minimum our unhappiness. So, weakness of ethical egoism is modified egoism into the form of enlightened self-interest. It has been certain weaknesses. First, it leads to the conclusion of the people can act selfishly, immorally when they are not being observed or when their actions can't be detected. Moral relativism and moral objectivism. The next challenge to the ethics comes from the claim of moral judgments are relative to the individual or particular societies and are not universally applicable. Moral relatives are those who deny the existence of universal moral principles. The opposite position to the moral relativism is called moral objectivism. Moral subjectivism. Moral relativism can be standard in two forms of moral subjectivism and cultural relativism. Moral subjectivism argues that in a sphere of human behavior that is true of individual is not true for everyone else or even for anyone else. Refutation of moral subjectivity. Refutation of moral subjectivism is reduces the morality individual options and is it adds the common sense ideas. There are the two ways can be refustated. First one is self refuting and second one is people can't hold on to his view of all time. The first objection looks logical subjectivism and the second one is the assertion on the two sides. Cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is a given culture there are many moral standards that are true for the culture, but there is no object standard of morality which transcends individual culture and which can serve as a basis for evaluating individual cultures. Problem with the cultural relativism. So, cultural relativism leads to many unacceptable implications. There is a harm of admitting and even admitting interesting diversity found in cultures. Determines human free will. The next challenge is considered to the ethics arises doctrines of determinism. In a brief, determinism holds that decisions and actions of human beings are causally determined by external forces. So how to free of actions? How should we look at the question really? So it is very easy example situations. External compulsory X requests Y for the loan. How 5,000 rupees. So Y takes money to X. He is acting freely. Now suppose that X is walking along the dark street. He is approached by thief who holds a gun. X head demands his purse. X hands him purse. Obviously, X acted under external context. So this is the case study. Determinants of morality. The phrase determinants of morality general appears in an old account of morality. It discusses the extent of accountability or culpability of a moral agent for his wrong action. In many situations, an individual who commits an offense is obviously guilty, but there may be valid reasons on account which the wrongdoer may be fully partially freed responsibility for his wrong deeds. Object of action. So an action should be nature badly always remain so. An action which is good can be bad because of circumstances of intention. An action is different can be become good bad deflection. Circumstance of action. By circumstances we mean those features which lend abstract action and their individual concentrates of action. They refers to the time and place of an action, to the agent carrying action and the manner doing of the action, purpose of the action. So it is different act become good or bad depending upon the purpose. The action that has been good object can be more or less good because of the purpose. An action which inherently wrong may become greater or lesser wrong depending upon the purpose of moral agents. Responsibility of moral agents. Consequences of human actions. So you have to go everything. So The chapter was ended, so we should see the case study. Michael is a surgeon in the US on issue of abortion success. Social opinion is sharply divided in the USA. There is one group. Do you think Michael's decision should be immoral or not? So in this case study, always we have to see the end of the line. After a couple of years, Martha is pregnant and this time diagnosed with cancer, and it goes Michael for an operation. He agrees to the perform hypothetically Martha, although the fetus might be died the process. The case study is involved. So Michael is a X person, Martha is a Y, X is a patient for the Y. So she's suffering with the cancer. Actually, the person X is explained to the family about the situation, and he intendedly aborted the child. So this is the situation. So he is asking whether the doctor did correct decision or not. Yes, it is a correct decision. So he justified to the mother. So that is why he aborted the child. So this was the case.